Hey everyone, I'm Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. Today I have my Victober TBR video for you. I've been looking forward to this since last Victober. Yeah, I am excited about the prompts this year, mostly because I don't need to go and buy any more books. I mean, I love buying books, don't get me wrong, but I have plenty to choose from here in the house, so yeah. I will link everyone who is hosting their announcement videos in the description below. That's Katie at Books and Things, Lucy at Lucy the Reader, and Kate at Kate Howe. So without further ado, the first of 5 challenges, from Katie at Books and Things is to read a Victorian book that equates to your favorite genre. I really love mysteries and thrillers, and I love Victorian sensation novels. So I pulled 3 to choose from. I have plenty more to choose from, but I pulled 3 options for me, and I'll see how I feel then, or I'll just substitute another 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. So first up is Desperate Remedies, by Thomas Hardy. I'm not used to filming here or holding up things with my right hand, to be quite honest. So this was his first published work, not his first written work. This is his first published work. So it's a sensation novel. I'll read the back because I don't think a lot of people know about this one. The anti-hero, Aeneas Manston, that's A-E-N E-A-S, Aeneas, not Anus. Sorry. Manston, as physically alluring as he is evil, even fascinates the innocent Cythera, though she is in love with another man. When he cannot seduce her, Manston resorts to deception and blackmail and ever more desperate measures to achieve his ends. Yet this compelling story also raises the great questions, try that again, underlying Hardy's major novels, which relate to the injustice of the class system, treatment of women, probability, and causality. So, sensation novel here. Then I have 2 by Wilkie Collins that are less well known. This first one is The Dead Secret. This is a very much used copy, and it's got very tiny print. I will need my old lady glasses for this for sure. So this one. Okay, Rosamond Treverton lay dying at Porthgenna Tower, the family mansion in Cornwall. But what was the terrible secret from her past which was about to go with her to the grave? Calling her lady's maid to her side, she confesses but dies before she can extract a promise from Sarah to reveal all to her husband. Hiding the written confession in a remote part of the mansion, Sarah carries the burden alone for 15 years. Worn out by the strain, it is at this point that she is pitched headlong into a chain of events which could lead to discovery by the innocent she is trying to protect. Will the secret be revealed? What lies in store for the young Rosamond, her blind husband, and their infant son, heir to Porthgenna? I mean, like super Victorian, dark, twisty. Yes, please. And the last option I pulled out is Blind Love by Wilkie Collins. So, let's see. Okay. Filled with typical Collins romance and high adventure, the tale ranges from rural Ireland through the teeming streets of London to a sleepy village in Belgium. It is a story of a secret society of Irish rebels, of sinister plots, of revenge and bloody murder, and loyalty unto death. Above all, it is a sometimes disturbing, sometimes humorous, frequently moving story of the blind love of Iris Henley for the notorious Lord Harry Norland, and the trap into which her unwavering devotion gradually and inexorably leads her. Collins based Blind Love on a real-life criminal case, but as always, the author's own powers of suspenseful plotting and colorful characterization create the main interest. Hard to forget indeed are the handsome Lord Harry Norland, impetuous, hot-tempered, fatally flawed; the shrewd and relentless Hugh Mountjoy, helplessly in love with another man's wife; the slippery Mrs. Vimpany, concealing a secret past; Dr. Vimpany, bluff, outspoken, alcoholic, treacherous; and the pale, sullen maidservant, Fanny Mere, simmering with hatred and thoroughly unpredictable. So, this sounds really interesting. By the way, if any of you have read any of these 3, please let me know. I think it's unlikely, but you never know. Okay, so challenge number 2 is from Lucy at Lucy the Reader. Read a Victorian diary or letters collection. So I have 2 options here. They're both right from the horse's mouth, as it were. They're both Queen Victoria Diaries. So I will read volume 1 of this, but this is the Girlhood Diaries of Queen Victoria. So this is just volume 2 that I have. I didn't pull volume 1 out. These are printed in 1912. Here is Lord Melbourne, Lord M. So there are frontispieces, there are plates and protective vellum in front of all of them. It's pretty chunky. This is, with the index, like 350-ish pages. So I'll read volume 1 of this if I'm going to be home. I don't want to haul this around because it's so old. So if I'm going to be home and reading this, I'll read volume 1. Otherwise, I'm going to read this reprint of Queen Victoria Scottish Diaries. So this is, I think, edited by John Kerr. And here is the front, which is her traveling throughout the Highlands, which I really appreciate, having maps. Love me some maps and books with lots of helpful points marked. Let's see here. There are contemporary color photographs along with black and whites as well. So this should be really interesting and a very good excuse for me to rewatch that movie. Oh my God, Mrs. Brown with Judi Dench and Billy Connolly. That's such a good movie. So I can read that too. I can watch that anyways, but I'll really have to if I read that, if I have to. Okay, challenge number 3 is Kate from Kate Howe. Read a new to you book or a short story by a favorite Victorian author. So I'm going to count one of the Collins or Hardy books from challenge 1 also for challenge 3, because why not? They're all new to me. I do have some short story collections. I have The Haunted Hotel and Other Stories by Wilkie Collins. I have a ghost story collection by Gaskell. I have an assorted Victorian short story ghost collection, which is somewhere on my shelves, I don't know where. So I will either pull one of those or I will just double dip and count one of those for number 3. So number 4 is the Reader's Challenge. So this year in Goodreads, Katie asked people for their ideas for a group challenge. There were tons of them. Some of them were so clever and thoughtful, I couldn't believe it when I was reading through. But the one that was picked is to read a previous Victober book that you didn't finish or one that you want to get to. So this has been on my currently reading shelf since last Victober. I have tried to pick this up 2 or 3 times in the last 11 months and it has never stuck. And so I'm going to be trying to finish Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. My bookmark is on page 50, which is as far as I got. I don't know. This is an Everyman edition. This is my grandmother's when she was younger. So it's very well loved. And this was printed in 1928. So, look how, this has seen life for sure. So, I like Gaskell's writing. I have never finished anything by her before, but I've dipped in and out of things before. I really like the North and South miniseries, if that counts. And I really typically enjoy books set in small towns where not much happens. So theoretically, this should be right up my street. This should be one of my favorite books of all time. I should be recommending it to all these people, and I just can't get into it. This will be the actual challenge for me this year, is to finish this dang book. I don't know why I can't, but I just can't seem to. So there's that one. And the 5th challenge is the general challenge, which is to read a Victorian book while wearing something Victorian or Victorian-esque. And I have no idea what that would be. I will just try something or not, I don't know. The group read is Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. I am laughing because my only copy of Shirley is this cassette audiobook from Lord knows when. But Juliet Stevenson is the narrator. She's an excellent narrator. I always enjoy her work. So I will listen to this cassette audiobook if I can get my radio repaired in time. I have one of those all-in-one like record, radio, CD, cassette players that's been broken for a long time. I'm on a hold list to repair it. Hopefully it'll be coming up soon. So if this gets fixed by the middle of October, I will listen to this edition. Otherwise, I will just find another copy somewhere else. So I will attempt to listen to Shirley. And then aside from that, I am a huge Victorian fan, because like I said before, so I'll be adding in some extra stuff. So 2 books I would have liked to have gotten to last year and haven't. I have read both of, I have read work by this author before, not about Victorian things though, and that author is Pamela Horn. So she writes nonfiction. I believe she is British. It's all British history things. I've got a book about women in the 1920s written by her. And I think she wrote an autobiography of an illustrator, a female illustrator from the Victorian period. Please don't quote me on that. But I have this one, which is very much Victorian, obviously. I think there are photos in here, which is a nice treat. So I'll try to read this one, or at least dip in and out. And this other one I have by her that's Victorian. Unfortunately, I bought it without a dust jacket, but it's Pleasures and Pastimes in Victorian Britain. This is a little more oversized. Ooh, it's got small print. I never thought that would bother me that much, but it does. So this covers the growth of leisure, family amusements and pastimes, fashion and the wider social scene, traditional recreations, country pursuits, excursions, holidays, foreign travel, sporting world, music and the theater, literature, art and architecture, and respectable recreations and the patriotic spirit. This was written in the late 90s, so hopefully I will get a chance to do this one. I also have a lot of books about Queen Victoria herself, and a lot of her children. It's really fascinating. So I just pulled the first 2 I saw that had her name on them off of my Royals shelf. So this is Queen Victoria's Secrets by Adrian Munich. I don't think that you pronounce it like Americans would say. So it's not a traditional chronological biography. Views Queen Victoria in terms of the predominating concepts governing a Victorian woman's life, from fashion to marriage to menopause. This is the next sentence here. In a lively discussion of pornography, Munich points out a chain of masochistic fantasies associated with Victoria, whose very name has long been shorthand for sexual repression. Okay. I mean, I am no prude. I don't know about this one. Have you guys read this one? How kinky does it get? Okay, the other one I pulled is Queen Victoria's Matchmaking, the Royal Marriages That Shaped Europe by Deborah Cadbury. Yes, it's that Cadbury family. This was out, I think, 2 years ago around Christmas time. So this should be really interesting about all of her children and how she got them all hooked up and engaged to prominent royal houses throughout Europe. And I really, really like poetry. I'm getting into it a little more again. I mean, I've always liked it, dipped in and out of things, but I took a class in Victorian literature and everything in college and really fell in love with it and got to know it a lot more, being forced to study it, of course. So I have my my 90s Riverside edition of the major Victorian poets, Tennyson, Browning, and why can't I read this backwards? Arnold. I have a very nice Borders marker in here for The Buried Life by Arnold. Apparently I really liked that one. Lots of underlining. Ooh, Laura. College Laura annotated. Adult Laura is semi-horrified by it, but it's kind of okay. So I will read some things in here, and because I really love his poetry, I'm going to read some Thomas Hardy poetry. This is a used book collection I found in a thrift store. I'm sorry, I found it at a used bookstore in northern Wisconsin on a random road trip with my friends in like 97 or 98. So it's discarded from a school library, but you can tell all the stuff. I mean, I just flagged like every fourth one. Really liked it. So I'll be reading more of Thomas Hardy's poetry for sure. Any excuse, I'm happy to read. So I think that will do me just nicely for this challenge. Are you joining in with Victober? Are you reading any of these books? Have you read any of these books before? Do you have any advice to help me get over Cranford and what my problem is? I don't know what my problem is. I just can't. I don't get it. I'm stymieing myself. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you are all reading something fantastic and staying safe and healthy. And I will talk to you guys very soon in the next one. Bye.